Have air rushing around the AIO. It could be, as I said, it could be what I was sort of leading into was it could be something that's oh no, that actually does stack high. How about that? I still need like 200 of these things. I should add. I looked at the numbers before. I actually fixed the calculation as well. The calculation was using the basic recipe, the one that I had. It wasn't using the enhanced wood with the fertilizer. It halves the number of greenhouses, but it's still like 150 something greenhouses. I'm still going to need all them. I'm going to need all... Actually, I'm going to... Because it needs chemistry, I'm going to ignore it for now. And pretend it doesn't exist. Since you had to do service on may have less... Ah, lost a little bit along the way. Okay. So, carrying on from last time, we need an outpost for copper. That looks like a good spot. Need an outpost for coal, I suppose there too. I might as well just mine out this area while I can. Probably that one there too, because I'm going to end up because this line here is where I'm sort of aiming for where the base should be, or maybe just slightly above it. This will be like a relief line around it. That way I don't have to drive through the whole thing, but yeah, something like that. And also I don't have to landfill all that crap and stop there. And just push everything out that way. That's the general plan. But anyways, let's go. Alrighty. Want my lure train. A thermal compound test fit another cooler floating around. And see if that kills it. Well, not kills it, but dulls the noise. Which way is better? Want to aim for it around here somewhere. What was I going to put there? I've forgotten. I said it yesterday and I've forgotten what it is already. I'm going to put something there. I really don't remember what I was going to put. Oh, that's right, the crushers. Yeah, let's go that way. Because I don't know what to do with oil yet. I don't know if I'm going to want an intermediate oil base or not, or if I just go for the full thing. I have a feeling I'm going to need an intermediate oil base. End of the day. Need to delete that too. And delete... Ah, excellent. Rain is sucking that up. Slowly. Gonna have to go there and intervene. Actually get there? Kind of. Need to go a long way around. A little bit past. Say there. And my plan is have a T intersection about there. And then thingy there, and then it can go into greenhouses here. I probably don't want. Yeah, a bit better. Get rid of these signals, ready for the T intersection. The one caveat with these blueprints. Got to get rid of the signals if you want to paste it over a straight. Fortunately, I can't make it completely idiot-proof. Something something, it just invents better idiots and something something. Okay. Essentially going to want that. Probably not pointing that way. Still paste it down, and then it'll fix it and it'll spin it around the other way. Actually, it didn't use as much space as I thought it would. Thought it was gonna like be down here. That's I want to grab Flip it and reverse it. Pop it there. There we go, just fix the poles. Building the... actually going through the motions of building the build, but I'm probably going to end up moving them. So in fact, just delete them now. And I may potentially want warehouses. 1 kilo left on the 20... 1 gram left on the... 1 kilo. 1 gram. That's not going to go very far. Who's here? It's not going to go very far. For some reason I sounded really posh then. Barely enough. I'm going to have to go back and get more thingies. Yeah, I'll just make use of the storage here. Some would say buffers are bad. And that does still reign very true. But at the same time, it's a lot less annoying if this stuff is actually buffered up. Okay, it is actually going to be... There we go. Now I'm actually out. You should check if the cooler is even the right wattage. It's probably worth checking. Now, how do these align? Ooh! Actually align like that. Interesting. There. I had the ability to place these down, and I do. Pop it there, though. And I'm going to use the blue ones because they're a bit cheaper. Yeah, they're not always bad. You're going to have a hell of a time playing, Satisfactory without buffers. That game, the way that game's sort of set up is... really want them. It does look right. I think that looks right. I'm just going to assume it is and just roll with it. What have we got? Yes, is the answer to that. It's funny, actually, when it really comes down to it, a loader at a mining outpost is essentially a giant buffer. Like, this is holding 300,000 iron that it's mined at the minute. And that makes optimal use of the trains to do it that way. Store up as much as you physically can so it can transfer as quick as possible. Now I'm out of belt and stuff. Well, I'm not out of belt, now I'm out of those things. 8, 9. I've never actually seen... Is this a recent thing? Because I've never really seen coolers rated for power. Oh, you started rewatching 36k base? Base over like the first video of the second stream. I really need to follow up on that and fix... there's a lot of things to fix on that base. So that it actually runs... Like, it runs, but it doesn't run consistently. But I kind of got burnt out in the game doing that one. So it kind of fell on its face. I don't remember which base that was. Because the 12K one was the good one. I was happy with that one. TDP rating, something you put on coolers to make it easy to find some... Not make the CPU throttle off? Yeah, I suppose it makes sense too, because to at least have thermal power, so... Hang on, where am I? Let me rewind that. It makes sense given the recent last few years of iterations of Intels, which have been so power hungry that you really need to pay attention to that sort of thing. It kind of makes the thing I was going to say, Baker, you're leading into, is that like the power dissipation that you need doesn't factor in. Like it is a thing, but it's very finicky. So like you have the CPU that's generating a lot of heat, and then you have the heatsink which is absorbing that other number, that amount of heat, but you don't know what is happening in the interface between the two along the way, because everything has a degree of thermal resistance in it. So you know, from the IHS to the thermal paste, although technically it doesn't really interface with the thermal paste. The way if you watch Gamers Nexus, you probably know that the way most people think thermal paste works is actually quite different to what it actually happens. So yeah, you go from the thermal paste. Anyway, you go from the thermal paste to the cold plate of the cooler, and then you have the whatever thermal resistances from the cooler to the heatsink, or the cooler to the liquid if it's an AIO or some kind of liquid cooler, and then to its ability to reject that heat in the radiator. They're all little numbers, but they all add up. Yeah, and that actually, yeah, as you're saying, the CPU lists TDP in watts, which again, I mean, in theory, that's the current going into it, but it doesn't necessarily relate in any way. At least listing the wattage isn't really enough to know if the cooler's, yeah. It's at least, I'd argue the best you can do with it is a ballpark, but which would have been good enough like 3 to 5 years ago. Admittedly, though, in general, something like 100-watt CPU is all you can do with a single fan AIO, or single 120 mm radiator, I should say, quantified as a radiator. There's usually enough ability to remove heat, and then much beyond that, you start to need it too. At least when I was like, this is I should qualify this. This is my understanding, which is now quite old, quite dated, of how to spec it. And then you would use two fans for anything above, you know, that around that 100-watt range, or if you're cooling graphics cards, which again is wildly out of date, because once upon a time I cooled 2 graphics cards with a CPU with a single it was a single 2 by 120 millimeter radiator. I was thinking single 120 mm. No, it was a single radiator that was 2 by 120 mm. Or no, it was 140 millimeter. Sorry. How things have changed. You can't even do that with a 4090 or a 3090 these days. Okay. Heat dissipation doesn't really change, but the physics are pretty firm. That's exactly right. Did not place down the train stop. What do I need? One more. I still have one of the graphics cards cooler on it. It was a 670, but it was effectively a 680. Simple times, because you can't normally water cool a 670. It was clocked up. It was clocked up to a 680 spec. It had the RAM of a 680 as well. So it had twice the RAM of what a 670 would normally have. Understanding the thermal paste is that, yeah, it fills the voids, micro voids. The thing that I was saying that most people don't understand is the thermal paste is actually a liquid. And so once you start applying pressure from the cooler, it will just smoosh. The pressure will just smoosh any excess out the way. So it doesn't actually matter if you have too much on. A lot more, like, you don't have to freak out over having too much and it blocking the transfer, because it's a liquid, it can't compress. So it'll just get pushed out the way. The other thing is that for a CPU you can get away with too little, but a GPU you generally can't. It's a lot more risk using, like, there's more risk of damage using too little than too much. If you see any professionally manufactured or factory manufactured products, they'll always use too much because it costs. Well, compared to RMAs or fixing issues from not enough thermal compound, it's cheaper to just spend a little bit more and throw more on. First ever new pass build was a bare die and an Athlon 1800. Speaking of things you don't want too little thermal paste. Liquid metal paste. Yeah, liquid metal is stupid. Liquid metal is silly. Trying to think of the compound. It's normally a. I was going to say beryllium, but no, it's. And then I went to benzene. No, that's definitely not benzene. Um, yeah, it's actually used in some exotic lead-free, low-temperature lead-free solders as well. The same material. It's awful stuff. I don't know why I did that. Actually, I know why I did that. Yeah, that makes me feel better. Such a dumb minor point. How many more do you need? 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. Yes. Probably need a full stack again, basically. Doesn't it have liquid metal, but it's sealed inside a chamber? Like it's sealed inside a yeah, and it leaves with reapplied. It's I was going to say a vapor change, but that's actually slightly different. I was going to type in like 70. I was like, yeah, I'll just commit to 100. Gallium, that's the one. I was thinking of beryllium because beryllium copper and beryllium oxide is a or beryllium copper you can still get. That's a type of copper washer. Beryllium oxide used to be in the standard white thermal paste. You actually need to be careful with that, pulling apart stuff from the 70s for that reason, because there's a very good chance it's beryllium based. And you really don't want to get that on your skin. Boop. Hello, train. liquid metal can also run off because it's if you heat it up enough, and then it just destroys anything. If it runs off onto the motherboard while it's on, it's just going to trash everything. I've heard of there's more than a small number of laptops and desktops as well that have been destroyed by liquid metal paste running off. Yeah. Oh, it was a rubber gasket. I couldn't actually remember. I knew it was sealed inside a chamber because you can also once it's. I do remember from when there were a few videos dismantling it. Once you dismantle it, that's it forever. It's destroyed. That whole cooling solution. Actually, going back to the whole thing with liquid metal, the performance gain is really marginal because you're really pushing. You need to get the gains out of it. You need to be in the top end of the silicon lottery, and you're also really starting to push the CPU right to the limits of what it physically can do. Hello there, Solowolf. I remember looking at it for actually, it's the same story with de-lidding. I remember looking at it for my CPU. I wasn't actually going to do it. I was just curious. I should preface this by saying, and the gain was you're going from 4.7 to 5.1 in general, maybe 5.2. The power consumption goes astronomically higher on both the CPU power consumption increases astronomically. The motherboard power consumption goes up astronomically because it's got to support it as well. It's an enormous strain on the CPU and the motherboard VRMs, so the motherboard VRMs need to be able to take it, and they probably can't. And yeah, all you're getting out of it is like a few megahertz, but just an absolutely ridiculous. Doesn't that? Oh, look right. Hang on. Oh, I see. There. Can do morning. Yeah, I knew someone who'd actually done. I don't think they went as far as liquid metal, but they de-lidded an 8700K, which is the same CPU I still currently have. Still. And yeah, the gains were just so marginal. It's like, why bother? Still don't. Right. Happened to the doing that? Keep making it wrong. Yeah, which should be... Yeah, that was the row which doesn't cover. Going insane again. Things I do to make this look nice. Switching over the tablet. Gonna try and do some surgery. Looks like I've got another, hopefully I actually have the, a spare cable for that. I might not. The funny thing about the really fancy HDMI cables, this is one that I've had for a long time. All the fancy HDMI cables, they always break really easily. Wonder how much water this needs. Wow, I'm placing these badly. Probably actually set the recipe too. 90% of Factorio is making numbers go up. The other 90% is making the base look nice. And then the other 90% is doubling your production. I suppose that's included in the first point, isn't it? Now that I think about it. Dang it. Adds up to 108%. Ah, it's a triangle. That's it. Must make sense. Any? I'm gonna grab 2 just in case. There we go. Okay, all more fasters going. And we'll win a small lottery sometime. It's interesting how the water distributes too. I might need some pumps to help it along. We'll see. It's actually interesting. The steel pipes increases the capacity from 100 to 125. But in theory, higher capacity is actually bad for it. When I say bad for it, I mean bad for Factorio fluids in general. A flaw in this plan. I mean, they all got 1k. Can't complain with that. Ah, and the lumber comes out. High cap, not increase the flow rate. I forget the... I used to know this, but I forget what it is now. It's for things like transferring from a pipe to a tank to a pipe, because everything is just effectively a tank. And transferring from a large capacity thing to a low... Like, it wants to fill the larger one to equalize the numbers. It's... Like, it wants to make... I suppose if they're all equal, it's fine. Get about it. But yeah, it wants to equalize all the... everything across all of it. So if you have a tank, which has a considerably higher capacity, it all gets stuck at the tank and won't flow past it. But that's specific for a tank. I have to think about it again for individual pipes. All I remember of it was high capacity any kind of high capacity fluid storage is bad. Fluid component, I should say, not storage. I say storage because, as I say, technically they're all tanks. The pipe to ground pipes and so on. Even boilers and boilers and them things, heat exchangers. Yeah, because if you want to get throughput up, you need the pump on the back of a tank or on the front of a tank directly, or you just draw a line with just purely with purely with pumps. How else is here? Surprised you have Wi-Fi. It's kind of a shame that they didn't want to do it like the electric network. Pump on the on both sides of the tank, yeah. It's also nice to not have the 30 a second pumps anymore. That was the old pumps, and you used to have like 3 in 30 or 60. You just have like 7 in parallel to actually get something out of it. Okay, that is ready to go. Excellent. I think next stop is the coal and the iron there. Set those up. I need to be careful too, because that's going to push into over there. See if it can't. There's a noise. I was wondering where the noise was. Ow. Hi, Velbeck. Hi, Dave. I know it's not Goosen, by the way, but hi, Goosen. I want it to be Goosen. Come to scratch the face and poop on the pillow. Sounds like something cats will do. Rename the vanilla pumps. Speaking of geese, how are we doing? How's the stream, Monsieur Sificant? I got to see a little bit of it. Did we find out, say, any new Shouldn't you have had your skull drummed? Yes, there you go. Here it is. It's like you foretold it. Foreshadowed. Honk boosting enabled. We have stereophonic honks and everything. Got everything here. And drive-by honks. Bots, deliver me the goods. The old school 714. Yeah, I wasn't consciously thinking. It's actually, what is it? Honk 3. Exclamation mark honk 3. That one. Honk 2 and honk 3 is what you want. There it is. Danish police are playing CSGO on Twitch. That's funny. Don't forget honk 2. Better not forget honk 2. Or else. There it is. Honk 2. Number 2. Kids these days. Bit late. Better late than never. Hi. I nearly said stephanated, but it's sephanated. Actually, is there a honk 2? A honk 1? I think it's honk, then honk 2, honk 3. And then Glacier wishes there a honk 4. And then a Jan. How's it going? It goes. Goes pretty well, actually. Alright. Let's go get the copper. How far away are you from being done? Not far. That might overwrite the sound alert doing that. Oh, no, it won't, because it's an alias. Never mind. I definitely know things. Oh, we're getting into the stupidity of the stupid bot. Like, what I'm saying is it might not actually work. I need some kind of... I... the Mo, how you doing? You did? That gonna be a Nightbot or I think it's exclamation mark command add. Well, here we go. That'll fix that. Hey, and fellow. Ink. Done. How far are we in? Sort of in the mid-game stage. So, stand there. Yeah, I've got a bit of a starter base going. I've done all the research up to the final, end game tech cards. I need to upgrade to the Singularity Lab, the Quantum Computer and Singularity Lab. Sort of been holding off on that as I upgrade the mining. So I've got the early game war processing enrichment going on using small trains and also mining using small trains. But to scale up, I want to change over to the bigger trains, these things. And so just replacing all the infrastructure over right now, getting ready to scale up. To finish the tech tree off and start building big. Modules are slowly happening. I'm trying to somewhat avoiding the module grind doing that. Tileable blueprint for Rails. GitHub, exclamation mark BP. And what you want is, these are the 2-lane segments. There should be, I think there are right-hand drive ones as well. For the 2 and the 4. Make Veldak put all of the aliases in. Yep, right there. Yeah, so these ones are the 2 lanes, then there's also the 4 lane, the ML. It's a bit unsorted on there at the minute, but one of my future me projects is to fix that. Which means it'll happen in an indeterminate amount of time in the future. Otherwise just be lazy and slap that there. Slap that there. Nope, not there. There. Pull request incoming. I haven't actually had many of those. I haven't learned enough GitHub to actually know how to deal with them yet. Part of the exercise was to actually learn GitHub, and I mean, I'm getting better at it. Still a lot of things I need to know. I found probably is when you look up like how to do GitHub, the most common I can't be bothered. I was going to craft these and I can't be bothered. One off. Where's the one off? Where's that one off? Close to, well, actually one off. It's actually more than one that's one off. One of the things that always bothered me with learning Git was that the typical advice is, oh, you need to start doing everything with a command line to learn how it works. I did actually see it. And I don't agree with that idea. It's like learn it by going headfirst into the weeds. Doesn't seem like a very good idea. Seems like you want to be spending your time learning the high-level concepts and the process, and getting familiar with the process rather than learning how to bash in, obtuse commands. It's even worse. Yes, it is. I was looking at it and then I saw this one, and then I saw that one, and then I saw you said that it was the front first one. It's like, yeah, it's all over the place. It's just all kinds of wonky. Almost out of belt. This is fine. Now we actually are out of belt. Save so much belt just by using undergrounds. I say that, I still need to go back to the base to get more. Remember the days when it wouldn't flip? Those were nice days. Yeah, there's programmers, developers, if you want to automate stuff, but nah. Yeah, there are tools, and generally, you're not going to be doing it by command line, like, in your normal day-to-day work. Or if you're just messing around, you're not going to be doing git pull, git push, git whatever. I do actually sort of know the commands. Cost the same amount of belts to replace? Technically, yes, but because the reach is so far on this, it makes up for it. Hey, 55. I mean, having said that, I should say, like, I do understand that you do need to get into the command line if you, as you say, if you want to automate stuff, or if you need to fix stuff in particular. If you need to fix things, if something like really breaks, you do need to know the command line. But like, if you're just doing your own little thing, you're not going to be worrying about someone else in a team of like 30 people doing a bad commit. Oh yeah, and you also a lot of IDEs have integrated Git anyway. For what I'm doing, I just use GitHub Desktop. I have used SourceTree as well, though. It's actually really nice. It's actually quite interesting. There's not a lot of visual Git visualizers around that are any good, and that don't cost a lot of money. Programmers who run Git a lot, run things through command line. Yeah, they run. They're running a lot of extra, as you say, a lot of stuff on top, and that's again things that are. When they say dive into the command line, it's things that they're not actually talking about. They're not actually saying that they're doing all this automation. You know, I was saying procrastinate before on doing stuff. I have seen people, developers before, who procrastinate on working just by fiddling around with automation and such. I've seen that be a thing. Usually confuses more than it helps. I probably don't have enough experience to see it as being a problem. It's just handy to see where branches are going, I found. Admittedly, though, if there's a lot of if there's branches which are very much tangled, that would actually that would get confusing. Like if there's commits going back and forth between two branches, then yeah, two or more branches actually, then that would get confusing. Slowly getting more belt. I'll let the base recover. I'm not standing around. That got zapped. Totally not procrastinating, figuring out the window manager. There we go, try that. There we go. I can actually extract the link I have to copy and paste it. It requires effort. Yeah, that one's definitely more insane. Is it flowing top down or bottom up as well? The hell of a monstrosity. You call that a monstrosity? It's only a 16-way one. There's another one of the bases I had a 64-way one. But yeah, you see it's got a bunch of actually that one's really confusing because it's got orphaned branches that don't branch out of anything. They only merge into other branches. That's actually kind of weird. Hmm. I think the thing that makes it confusing is policy around how your company business uses branches. Yeah, if your company works on main, then you're going to run into all kinds of problems. Show them the red belt base balance. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the 64-way one. I don't remember if I made that one or if I ended up downloading that one. Do exclamation mark leaves to see how many you got. It's entirely possible it's gone stupid and you don't actually have any. It's been an ongoing issue. Yeah, it's stuck at 0. A lot of people are just stuck at 0 for some reason. I'm not sure if the file that it's using is corrupted or what. Because I've reinstalled it, I've backed it up and then restored the backup and it's still broken. For whatever reason, it just won't accumulate. I don't understand why. And yeah, more and more people, it's affecting more and more people. How is it there? Yeah. Definitely meant to shoot randomly. So I remember when we noticed it at first with Michelle, it was affecting Michelle and then I think like 2 other people and everyone else was fine. But since then it's getting worse and worse. Does it depend on cookies? New browsers disable some by default. Oh, it shouldn't be cookies because in theory, because it's based on your presence in chat, unless it's an API thing. I mean, it has been affected it for a while. Like, unless the browser is affecting how the chat interface work, how the browser interacts with the chat, could do that. Just thinking. Like, as long as your name is in there and active, it should be accumulating points. So why am I doing it that way? Doing that. Only set to 777 and recently reset the value in 0. Yeah, I set yours to 0 and 0 and it just won't change as a test. Well, actually, no, I didn't set yours to 0. I deleted the user. I deleted the entry entirely to see what would happen. Turns out, it doesn't change a thing. I nearly managed to do all of these. We've got 1, 2, 8. 8 exactly. Delete reset. There's not that much of a difference. Well, that was a disaster. That's also convenient, that spacing was just right. Nearly right. I keep saying that I want to switch over to Phantom Bot, but I don't understand how things like the sounds and all that work. And like the Reddit is dead. You do a search for it, and you can't find any post about Phantom Bot that's that's any less than like 2 years old at this point, which doesn't inspire confidence. I can probably do most of it with undergrounds, but it only get me so far. Invitation to costume party in October. Some kind of Halloweeny thing, is it? Yeah, almost got enough. Ironically, running out of undergrounds, but got plenty of killer belt now. Looking, I was like, did I do something wrong? No. I'm determined. And finish it off. Damn it. It's just short. Just short. I do that, and that fits, and we have exactly the right amount. Oh dear. Now I just need to get more miners. And power poles, apparently. Undergrounds make you cringe. It's very reminiscent of, very much energy, yeah. Very much missing a lot of mining drills and power there. Ah well, it works. It works. It just works. Away. Should be copper, and back we go again. Don't forget you didn't look at the severance package? Oh, you're missing out on the costume party, are you? The happiness manager. That's usually a red flag. You don't want to attend socialization events? I know. It's the trouble with socialization is you have to be around people. Who wants to be around people? How's this looking? 75k. So it's nearly ready for lumber. Funny, I made this lumber train and it's kind of pointless now. Kind of redundant. It was really pushing these small number of greenhouses a bit for hard. Let's get rid of that. Oldorf used to have like 5 to 6 lunches during festivities annually. Don't want to be part of the family. Then the new management took over and all gone with no extra money. Almost wishing for a new lockdown. Admittedly, there were some good times to be had then. Do you know what we also forgot? I just realised we forgot one thing when we were talking about sounds earlier. Just completely changing gears. I just realised something.
An owl!
Completely forgot about the owl. Honk 5. The important ones, at least. The owl is exclamation mark damsel. DAMNZL. Honk, thanks. Giving me ideas. No E. There it is. Classic. an exclamation mark AU. When we end, this is a classic for Veldak, is exclamation mark AUGH. There we are. It's so good. uh, exclamation mark twist. Exclamation mark travesty. I haven't heard travesty in a long time, actually. Fallen out of favour. It's uncool now. Okay, now we're getting copper. Hey, Baker, gifting that sub to Michelle. Thank you very much for that. Slapping that dub sound. Dub sound. I can words good. Thank you very much for that. Get that love and hype going on. And snugs. Eventually the little snug. There it goes. Oh dear. Hey, let's just keep the calm the farm on the zooming there. Oh, look at that. It is ready. Nearly. Need a thingy there. Now all I need to do is plug in the processing. Yeah, you now have access to the best quality emotes on Twitch. Independently verified by Veldak himself. Yeah, I'll give it a look. I mean, at the same time, do I want to encourage JD? It's also going up against some heavyweights. Can JD stand up next to some heavyweights such as Travesty and Twist and Damsel? I mean, these are heavy hitters. We'll see. Not what I actually wanted. That's right. I need to get. I won't say what it is. I got a ZL, DAMZL, and honk. MN. Sorry, my bad. I even got it wrong. I mean, it helps if I tell you it's the right thing. How does that look in terms of 15k? I don't think there is a command list for the sound commands. I should change it to redeemables. Channel point redeemables. I don't know how to do that though. I need to look it up. There's actually a bunch of things I don't know how to do. I've just never bothered looking. And I really should. 3k? Yeah, and the trouble is that you got to fight the two different bots as well to get it to work. Now I got to think of another name. How to cram another name in. I mean, I've got one in so far. Alright. Next job. I really need an outpost train, I think. You know what? Need an outpost train. Can you go to hold? For all that I went to and through to make this, it was redundant. It was, as I say, it was optimistic. It was very optimistic doing this thing. That ain't right. Yeah. Had a few good hours with it? Yeah, we did. We had a few fun hours assembling it. Good times were had last time, slowly assembling it. 2. I sort of don't want to go big with it yet. 3, 4. 3 and 4. Make it a derpy little thing for now. I mean, still put 4 locos on it. Keep it small. Righty. That. Yay! We won! We won! I bought one, of course. I mean, having said that, I should hope Nightbot 1 has like a 97% chance or something. Yeah, we actually empirically proved that the probability is nothing like what it claims to be. Because I think we set seem to remember we set Spellmaster to like a near um didn't we actually set you to a 100% win rate? And you um still lost. Can't remember now. I'm fairly certain I set you as like a 100% win rate and you still lost. Look at the mining drill. It's the thingy builder. I'm pretty sure rigged is actually an inbuilt command too. Actually funny. Alright, what does an outpost consist of? Is a question you should really be asking. Train stops. So you're looking at like 100 loaders, so we'll double everything. So 400 mining drills. I'll save this. So I know. Rinse. Back. Back all the way. Signals. Chain signals. Whoops. Poles. Substations. I'm missing. Train stops. This is purely for rail building. Probably more thingies. In theory, one of them should be for trash as well. I'll reserve those for something else later. This one I'll use as I want to use as trash. It needs to be 5 though, doesn't it? I think I just talked myself into extending it. Ew. Go there. They go there. So the outermost ones will be trash. Inner ones, trash, trash, track, track. 1, 2, 3. That's actually a lot. 5, 6, 7. In a way, I feel like I don't need that many. I mean, I'm gonna regret that call later. I guarantee it. Don't have to do that. 1, 2. The only reason I'm saying is because it does stack a lot of this stuff a lot more. What did I? Whatever. 2. Yeah, I only need to add 1 more, not 3 more. Middle one to trash. I could actually. I mean, even that is pretty crazy. I want active. I do actually want active providers. Yes. Probably is I'm kind of lazy, and I had red ones on hand. Oh yeah. Track. This one. What do we want? Let's look. It's 1,000. That's the entire row of belt. Essentially 2 rows of belt. 200 underneath these, so 400 underneath these, which is that. So 4. For them, probably 3 for good measure. 32 boxes. Did I put the poles here? You know what? Poles. Be slightly inconsistent, put them there. Build trains are so much easier one direction. They are, yes. But I found that consistently I need bi-directional to so you can go backwards and forwards. It's too useful not to have. Loaders. Loader. Yeah. 150. Probably 1 more. Good measure. Interesting that they didn't change that stack size. Chests and was it 275 mining drills? So it's like 400 mining drills. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and chests 1, 2, 3. If I had that mod installed, that would be very convenient right now. So belt, splitters. I've done it so many times now that oops, you're also splitters. I meant undergrounds. I've mixed items in a chest so many times, it always goes wrong. So I'll just reset you. Then I need loaders. In theory, I should also do this with a buffer chest. Then I can provide it back to me. Chests and then mining drills. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. In theory, I should actually have more in requesters and inserters for like the belts and the mining drills. If I wanted to speed up the load, but in a way, I sort of can't afford that right at the minute. Fill one wagon with each mine item. I mean, that's the way I'd roll in the not too distant future. Power pole, big power pole, submarine station, in signal. If I was really committed, I would actually build one of these and actually blueprint it. That's never going to happen. I nearly click and dragged while holding shift then. That would have ended badly. Oh no, that was the right spot. It was like, I want in the middle. It was in the middle. Rain stops are missing. Now it's in the middle. There we go. Hello, BP. Hello, ad break. Get rid of that now. Alright, next step is call outpost. I mean, actually, next step is I could get all this going finally. You stop there. You know what, while that's filling, we'll clean up these other outposts. Obviously don't need that request anymore. A lot of these I don't need the same number of requests anymore either, actually. Because I could just rely on the outpost train now. Your own time, bots. It's not like there isn't a shortage of them available. Where Roka robot speed would be nice. Oh, I didn't actually update that one. Alright, hold it there. How did you... Whatever. Whatever. Get upcycled into level 2. Get rid of this entirely. I need a spider to do it. Where does iron keep coming from that it picks up? Whenever it picks up, whenever a mining drill is marked for deconstruction, it has an iron in it. Is that because as soon as it finishes the mining cycle, it marks for deconstruction before it's ejected the item? It's the only reason I can think of that it would do it. Some would say that I could use auto trash slots, but I don't want to. Free iron. It's either that or it's just free iron. 70 free iron at that. Just swimming in iron we are. Swimming in iron. Away with ye. It's over 50 iron. That is over 50 iron. There's a lot of iron. You can make like 11, 12, 13 burner mining drills with that iron. 13 whole burner mining drills. Just imagine starting out with that many, with being able to make that many burner mining drills. Ah, lurking it up, getting your deed started. Down clips in Veldek's hands? Okay. That would have been the beepy. Cool. You hold it there, please. I don't want it picking up any more. Oh, actually, I do want it picking up more. You're empty, so I want you to go to hold. You to go in there. Stone. Yeah, now you hold there. No. Bad train. Yeah, you stop there. What are you? You're fine for now. You're fine now. Worker Robo Speed 21, 32 million heist. Heist. 32 million science. I read the second line as I was going through. Oh, that's you. So you keep going. You keep going. Keep going. I can stay for now. I can stay for because it needs to keep absorbing this. What I need to do is okay. Stop you there. Stop you there. Copper trains are there. One. Two. And funny. 3. 9.5k science a minute. Pretty hard to keep it going. That is a lot of science. Is it vanilla? If it's vanilla, that is a fair whack of science for keep going. I'm also not 100% sure if the purple fuel is the way to go, or if there is a better one. As far as I can tell, it seems to be the top tier fuel. I'm not 100% sure. Free leaves. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I think this weekend I'll sort it out. I might do it Saturday. Like, I'll sit down and try and figure out a new bot and replace this stupid thing. I mean, getting rid of Stream, it's Streamlabs based, and getting rid of Streamlabs isn't a terrible idea. Always a free little bit of ore. Yes, it's stuck at 0. Extreme fixing the bot. You wouldn't actually see anything because you wouldn't see. Yeah, you legitimately wouldn't see anything. Pulled up 2 then, but only had 1 ore, so it seems inconsistent. Unless it's when it's trying to eject the item but can't, then it's stuck inside the machine still. It's the best I can think of that it would be. About here will do, so we'll get rid of the signals once again. Now it's up there. The balancer be simplified? Possibly? I mean, this one's already as compact, pretty much as compact as it can be. I think I spent several hours making it more compact. It actually started out in life as someone else's balancer, and they said this was as compact as it could be, and I managed to drop like 2 tiles off its length. At least 2 tiles off its length. It was longer than necessary. That was the main takeaway. Yeah, it's like as short as it can be already. Like you potentially could make it wider. It wouldn't do anything beyond neatness though. More trains, and when more trains? Just need to add more outposts for the trains, and then we can more trains. I'm gonna have to delete all that, I think, and bring it down to there. Probably kind of pointless building all this. I suppose the next step is put a robo grid in all of these. Trouble is, you sort of need trash chests then. I suppose putting them in here, because then they can deliver to the chest, the trash wagon, and then the base can sort it out. Actually, I can go one step better and put it in there. I even have the loaders on hand. How about that? Immediately paying for itself. Now let's delete some trees while we're at it. That's actually downgrading belt. It's easy enough just to wave the thing over it when it's done. extra belts that are going into chests. They could be incorporated as well in the balances. Trying to picture what you're thinking. Because the way I'm seeing it is that it would exponentially... What I'm seeing is you would extend... The way I'm seeing it is you would be expanding the size of the balancer, which means exponentially more belt. Extra belts that are going to chest, then we incorporate the end of the balancers. The core balancer might be smaller. Hmm. Not that it already needs to exist at the end of the balancer. Technically, you could, yeah, you could actually push that in, and then that would push it further in. If that was like back there, and then this could slide back a tile. Then these could slide back a few, but it doesn't really change much. It's kind of funny that it does those there. It's completely unnecessary these days. It's the pre-build optimization legacy is definitely showing how old it is. The concepts have 2 variables and 10 concepts. SE makes the concept which uses all 12 variables and turns them in game. Can I turn off robot attrition at the very least? I imagine you can. 2, 4, 5, 6, 8. Ah, perfect. I just don't want it turning into just a Greg Tech grind fest. It's probably the one thing that I don't want more than anything else with space exploration. Something about this seems a little off. There we go. Separate mod. Only for people who attempt to do bot-based and that's cheating on the build experience. I don't think it's cheating that much. It's only if you go into, if you do the belt sandwich type dealio. Like, I would only see it cheating that way. Ah, I need to upgrade. Let's see how we go at the end of this one. Maybe instead of like doubling up on this one, it could turn on space exploration. The way I see robot attrition is it's just a passive cost over time. It's no different to assembly machines taking damage over time. Like it starts off as a minor inconvenience and maybe an occasional annoyance. But then after time, at least with the case of assembly machine damage, it becomes a thing where you set up a robo network and just passively consume I got one extra. Passively consume repair packs over time. You know what? It doesn't need to be right there, so I'll just put it there. It's actually funny. I don't hate mods as such. I only hate GregTech type mods. I've lived the GregTech life. Yeah, all it becomes is just a need to continuously craft new bots as a replacement. Like it sort of it makes it would dampen early bots, but then late game bots it's nothing. And then even after that, you got to deal with the stuff that dropped when they drop out of the sky, and even then that's deal withable. It's not difficult, as such. It's actually kind of funny because that's the conclusion that Kovarex came to with the assembly machine damage, because he actually commented on that one specifically. Came to the same. It was in one of the FFFs. He came to the same conclusion. Yeah, it's just a passive thing that doesn't add anything. But yeah, I put bots in the same category. Yeah, the construction bots that pick up stuff and just drop it in random places, so you got to deal with it. But again, it's something that you just have a trash train or something. It's very easily accounted for. Where's your bot? Out to lunch. What type of GregTech mods? Anything that does the GregTech experience. Pteranodons is definitely a GregTech mod. Depends if you're familiar with GregTech. You're either a GregTech or a mechanism. Or if you're really, really Gregging along. GregTech New Horizons, the modern Minecraft people say takes 7,000 hours to beat. Okay, so to fill you in, once upon a time there was a game called Minecraft, and it was super addictive. Then mods for Minecraft started appearing, and that prolonged the interest of Minecraft. Then some early mods technical mods came along, that were typically paired together, and it was Buildcraft and Industrial Craft 2. And Industrial Craft was kind of a pain in the ass. But it, you could work around it. If you didn't, you just had to be careful placing down your machines. And it was fine. What I mean is that if you mined a machine with a pickaxe, it destroyed it and turned it back into a base machine block. So you destroy not a huge amount of resources, but a fair chunk of your time and mining and producing that machine. Then after, yeah, IC2 was good. It added a lot of things. Nuclear reactors was one thing that I did a lot with. Then the same dude who made Industrial Craft 2 made this mod called GregTech, which was Industrial Craft 2, but it was like putting your nuts in a vice. Everything was a massive pain in the ass. You wanted a sheet of metal, you need to mine like an entire stack, like an entire iron block, and then have a hammer to pound it flat. And then that hammer would only have like 4 or 8 uses or something. And that hammer also needed like 4 blocks of iron. So you were going through like entire stacks of iron just to do like one step. It was absurd. For some reason, that was the one I remember because there was a friend of mine. That was the one. The hammer in particular was the one that broke a friend of mine. It was just, he had a breakdown after it was like he just had a meltdown and couldn't do it anymore. Cool. Slowly getting more stuff. And then there was another technical Minecraft mod called Mechanism, which did the same thing. It had 5 tiers of ore processing, and it was actually fun. Sure if I thought there was a sub mod for Pyrannodons that was called that or something. I should also add for industrial craft too. I used to like doing Mark V reactors. Mark V reactors were the ones where you had to feed them with stacks of ice to cool them down. It was basically just all fuel rods and blocks of ice. I don't remember how I was making the blocks of ice though. I went to the wrong location to go there. To go there. Project Ozone 3. I think I played the original one. And just noped out of it. But from what I remember of Project Ozone, it was very much catered towards Minecraft YouTubers at the time. And it was usually a team effort, so you really couldn't play it on your own. Unless you just had no life. Oh, wait, they actually are built. I was like, why aren't they building? It's because they are built, Billy. 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Oh, it's so close to being aligned. So far. But in the end, does it even matter? Minecraft mods only made for or by streamers and by extension YouTubers. That's pretty much how it is now. They're all made, like Vault Hunters is made for... it is not made for you to play. It is made for streamers and YouTubers to play. Now, how long till I need to switch to undergrounds? Pretty soon, by the looks of it. It's kind of a dumb place to where I'm. Oh, I've done it to all of them. Such a minor detail, but I gotta fix it. A friend tried Vault Hunters. It was painful, even if you cheated giving yourself a bunch of stuff. Like, it's meant to be played with people, like, giving bits to give you stuff. To make stuff happen. I forget who it was. There was a was one of the big Minecrafters that I wasn't too familiar with because I sort of dropped out of the whole Minecraft scene. Why? Ah, that's why. I was looking at it, I was like, why have I missed one? I missed one. It was a few years ago now. It was someone in, yeah, because they entirely based themselves off of Minecraft. You could just see them and see their face, and it was like they were just dead on the inside. Because it was like that's their life. It's all Minecraft. Wasn't it Ninja or Shroud? I forget. It was one of those two that had like a complete breakdown playing Fortnite because they were just so tired of it. I want to say it was one of those two. Maybe wrong though. Ah, I just missed it. Damn it. Captain Sparkles? Possibly. It was one of the big. Oh no. Oh, at least for one of the Minecraft, it wasn't Captain Sparkles. It might have been the same dude that Giant Waffle was with. Someone like that. Same stream team, I mean. Bacon Donut. Was like the Minecraft. I don't think it was Bacon Donut specifically, but it was one of those types of guys. It was like they just looked dead. The breakdown. I don't think it was XQC. It was one of those really, but it may have actually been. Yeah, even Will, you can see it was done with Factorio. I mean, the end. You can see it in me as well, or at least hear it in me towards the end of the 36k base. It was just done. Cool. Next one done. I managed to spend the last 2 hours just building outposts. Yeah, you gotta change it up. I was having a lot more fun after mixing things up. For the pretty much mixing things up for the outside of when I was work wrapped up in work. Mixing up went well, working well. At some point you crack or change the meal. Yeah, you can't do the same thing forever. And it's not good to watch if you don't enjoy it. Okay. Tempted to use the big one. Maybe a terrible idea. It's the same thing for lunch most days. I mean, sometimes it's hard to beat hard to beat a winning combination. I mean, at one point I went through the entire Subway menu once and I optimized the sandwich. Beep boop. Recommend against taking crack for lunch every day. Yeah, it's not a bad piece of advice. Depends if you're the dude from Postal or not. Have I played Sweet Transit? I played the demo. Couldn't get into it though. It was a bit of a weird one. I'm not sure if it was because Oh. Hang on, 5 seconds. And there we go. Rail route. I don't think I know that one. You're underwater dancing on your screen. Why is it here? Why did the koala Factorio go away? It's actually funny because I had a Maybelline ad. Maybelline ad? Yeah, and a lipstick and like very girly stuff. It was very out of place. That happened yesterday or the day before. One of them. I assume those are delivering crap to me. Now, Sif got his views from. Oh, did he have views for Amaranth as well? Actually, it slid off the thingy. Let's see. What does it say today? Actually, it reminded me. Okay, March 7th to April 5th. Hey, Cat's actually at the top of the list now. He is now providing the most views. Gee, whoever would have guessed that consistently raiding does that? 99% come from direct links and other locations outside of regular discovery. I like how the hello there go live notification still has the 20% engagement. It has never moved from 20% in 5 years. Yeah, sweet transit. Yeah, potentially. I think, as I say, I think it was just a little bit too underdone in the demo and when it first came out. Because there was only like 1 or 2 train types. There was very few options in the way of cargo. The town stuff was really jank. So yeah, I do plan on looking at it again at some point. Workbench streams. It's been a while, hasn't it? 72% of you are watching on the web. 22% are on phones. 1% are watching on a TV. 1% are watching on a console. So 1% of you right now are watching on a PS5/Xbox. Actually, it's any PS5 or Xbox, really. Czech Republic is up from the bottom of the list, too. Good work, Veldak. Good job. Poland is back up as well. It's champing at the heels behind France. Germans. All you Germans out there have really driven up the location. You're second now. The Germans have beat the French. And the Dutch too, actually. Dutch are 2, 4, 5th now. Canadians, just below Poland. One person watching on a fridge. That'll be the other. Hang on, what's that? Less than 1% on mobile web, so you're on a mobile on a web page. Why am I not surprised? Why are you not surprised Germans like Factorio? What else we got? Yeah, UK still up there. It's on some phones, mobile web works better than the app. Wouldn't surprise me. That's coming from a bot account. As in the view from channels, that looks like why is Summit there? Summit's now on the list. FG squared's gone. What else we got? 45% comes from follows, 10% come from browsing. Nothing new there. That one person from Portugal? Hey! Portugal. Doesn't rate, sadly. But good to know you're here. I mean, I suppose Brazil is listed. All you from Brazil? Do see you. Steam Link is great, so much better than the Twitch website I've been watching. Delay is slightly longer and no channel points, which are only real down. Nah. It's not the worst. It's funny, when I started watching, I was using, there was this thing you could do with VLC to connect to the stream that way. And you would get it playing back in VLC. And that way you avoid the browser. I don't think you can do that anymore though. Cool, we got, an unload. Done. Denmark has to be the most important. Just below Sweden currently. Wasn't that a VLC exploit? It may well have been. Yeah. Sweden, Denmark, Norway, New Zealand, Czech Republic, Russia and Brazil. Trying to find that list. What else are you saying? Lower memory usage, better audio adjustment. And you don't get the double audio like you do with, is it Base actually producing these? I don't know if it is or not. Doop-a-doop-doo. Have to go through the Twitch website. Oh yeah, when it comes to subs, you got to use the website. Otherwise, like if you do it on mobile, you have to pay the 20% surcharge, whatever it is, 22%. Also, it's 9:55. I've sort of been procrastinating on finishing this off. Okay, so I need. Uh, Stuck on 0. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a weekend project to fix that. Right, G. Willikers. Flip and floop. Big rock. Get out of the way, big rock. Speaking of getting out of the way. Alrighty. So that's the ore processing almost done. Finally. It didn't take like 3 streams or anything. 3 hours. Oh, was that 6 hours? Suppose I could have spent that time getting the rest of science done, but I wanted to get the foundation going. Yeah, everyone got wiped out. Okay. The last thing I need is sulfuric acid. This thing is going to be it's going to absolutely drink sulfuric acid. Which is fine because it's something that can drink sulfuric acid. Otherwise, it's something that's not really advisable to do. It's not an advisable activity. Tasty, tasty sulfuric acid. Mmm, tastes like battery acid. It's like cherry cola. Technically, those are crashing into conflicting with thingies. Oh, that's right. I was going to piggyback on the back of those, but I don't think I can now. Where's the shape size is that? Yeah. I need to move it by... move it. Just, literally just placed it. You know, it's going to be one of those things that I do in between. You know it's going to happen. I'm going to come in next time, and suddenly there's going to be room for the machines. For the filtration things. There, I manually mined one. Now mine the rest for me, bots. I think it's also a good idea to keep the sulfuric acid separate. I might put it up there. Say might. Saying what it will be, really. It will go up here. Probably that leads into needing an oil base to get more sulfuric acid. And you know what that means, having a 416 sulfuric acid train. There. I don't know, how far do you reckon a 111 acid train goes? Pop you. Hey, there you go. Chechkai, demonstration in plug, or the Z symbol logo Russian. Oh. Yeah. Well, probably wouldn't take too kindly to that, would they? That is how you say, how you would call, what you would call, divisive. Divisive symbolism. That's the output also, not the input, not the sulfur input. Check court banning someone from a city. Okay. I wasn't actually sure if that was, like, always a thing. I mean, Prague it does things a little differently. I mean, it's the home of defenestration. Thing was lit up. Wait, oh yeah, train stuck. Okay, how hard is it to upsell these to the bigger tanks? Not terrible. It's not town. I'm sure they've done it. I'm pretty sure defenestration is specifically Prague exclusively a Prague thing. Specifically, exclusively a Prague thing. Might as well just pump it out. Because these are so big, it's nice. It's worth doing. Also, they're meant to be inputs. Or pulling from a tank, not taking from. Back to base. I always wonder why English has such a specific word for something that should happen so rarely. The funny thing is, I'd never even heard of it up until, like, fairly recently, actually, in the fairly recent number of years. Just sucks it dry. And it's empty. I might actually need more pumps to push it further down. Yep, dry. Trouble is, it's one of those words like anti-disestablishmentarianism. That is such a mouthful. It's one of those words that really only exists for arty types and philosophy types. If you say it 3 times, a philosophy student will appear. I forget who it was when I was studying. I'm pretty sure they were actually a philosophy student. They just came up and told me it. I was like, cool story. Just so random. Like, oh, it was it wasn't like completely out of random, but it was just this conversation piece. It's like just out of nowhere, completely out of place. It's like, sure, whatever. Ooh, it's got a bit of a rap going on. Zelda gifting to the Goosen. Thank you for that. Goosen, you now have access. The Geeson. The Goosen. I can't call you the Geeson, actually. That's reserved for Geeson. You now have access. Veldak has given you access to the best koala emotes on Twitch. And this was independently verified by Veldak himself. Thank you very much, Veldak. Let's get that love and hype and snugs in channel. Pretty sure it's only because someone official, so someone had put on the records felt like gotta throw him out the window. Yeah, it's just literally yeet out the window. It's just a way of I'm trying to think of the word. Making what they're saying more elaborate. Missed gifting subs. Now you continue to be employed. Things change. Alright, last thing. I need to get rid of that train there. Uranium, stone, coal. Coal's gotta go. I'll do this while I think of it. I think stone and uranium and rare metals are the only ones that should be left. I'm gonna need to come back to rare metals, but I can sort of get by without filtration for that for now. I think I could technically get away without it entirely. It's sort of it's one of those nice to haves, but not necessarily a must have compared to iron and copper. We're told to work with Power BI. RBL. Don't actually know what that is. What happens if they tell you you have to work with .NET? Way with ye. Business intelligence. Oh. It's like oh. It's like the Ruby on Rails of .NET, is it? Keeping my eye on that map. I can't actually remember if I complained about Excel lately. I don't remember. Test the charges and extra engines? Not the charges. I have put engines in a few trains, so engines and a few portable generators. I don't know if you meant to use portable generators or like fusion generators, or I suppose nuclear reactors will work in a nuclear train. The problem is, can you blueprint the train and its grid? Plot. The exclamation mark twist kind of plot twist. That's quite the twist. Doesn't work? Yeah, that's the only reason why I avoid it, because I don't want to have to manually do all the grids. I mean, I do have access to nuclear trains, which would be an improvement anyway. Speaking of, I don't actually remember how these work. I assume these, they're just the same as always, but I mean, I could just look at the previous map if I was so inclined. Yeah, it just needs a uranium fuel cell. But yeah, not being able to copy the grid is really annoying. What that means is I just need to distribute these. Just bring them down to base and then distribute from there. Actually, I don't need to do that now. Anyway, it's time to end. That's what time it is.